I started going to gym like some weeks ago, and oh my, I was trying to talk myself. I said no, not today. But then I started to think about it that the more I did it, the more I became strong. Hello, my people. Welcome to another episode of Musings and Roars. I mean, you guys stick with me, always watching, sharing, leaving your comments. Such a huge privilege to do this with you. Thank you so much. So, today's episode, like always, would be amazing, will be enriching, will be informative. It will blow your mind, trust me. It's one that you need to listen to over and over and over again, right? I remain your amazing, delectable, beautiful host, Jumoke Shotonwa. All right. So this day we have an amazing guest with us in the house. She's very special to me. She's my friend. She's no worry. You're going to know how amazing she is as we go along in this episode. Please welcome with me, Tope Okodugha. So before we go along, right, I'm going to read her bio like I always do, so you can really know, how important, this woman is, today. So Tope Okodugha is an astute woman of many talents, skills, and grace. She possesses a track record of success, impact, and lives changed. Professionally recognized as a certified bridal designer by the London College of Fashion, she combines an insight in bridal fashion with a vast knowledge of techniques in bridal design. Tope Okodugha is a multi-talented pillar in fashion and interior design who developed a strong passion for design at a young age. She's the creative director of Maybecker and the founder of Sky Nooks Limited, an interior design and finishing firm. She was honored by the Power Network as one of the Power Woman 100 2022. In addition to this, Tope Okodugha lives a life dedicated to God, His kingdom agenda, and is fully committed to implementing His will on the earth as it is in heaven. To this end, she functions as one of the lead pastors of the New Church Global. She also passionately guides and empowers women on a transformative journey of self-discovery through her exceptional mentoring program, Authenticity by Tope Becky. Her mentoring approach fosters personal growth, confidence, and authenticity among women, creating a ripple effect of positive change in their lives and communities. Such a rich bio. Can we just welcome Tope Okodugha again onto this episode? You're welcome onto this episode. Thank you.
Thank
a
you for
huge honor and
me.
privilege to have you here. I mean,
Thank
apart from being
you.
my friend, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you're very talented, you're wise, you're, okay, enough of all the enough of all of that. So today's episode, right, is all about the mind, right? The power of the subconscious mind and how, we must be very, very mindful and watchful of our minds, right? Our minds can either work for us or work against us, all right? Your mind can tailor your life in the direction you want it to go or in the direction you don't want it to go, right? So I want you today to just share with us on the mind. Why is it important to have the right mindset? Why do we even need to have the right mindset? Why do we need to bother about changing our mindset to be positive or just flow with what we currently think in our minds?
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. Right, I'm excited that you did. Thank you so much, and well done on the musings and roars.
Thank you.
I'm so delighted that you've invited me. So why do we need to what's it now?
To have a good mindset. Why do you take
Okay. There's something that can I quote the Bible here
Yes,
now?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the Bible says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So I believe that we move in the direction of our predominant thoughts. So the way you are in your life right now is based on all that is in your mind, right? How you think, how you view things, your mindset, your approach to life and everything. So the reason why we need to have the right mindset is so that we can, get, first of all, to reach our fullest potential as a human being, and for us to be successful in whatever it is that we do. So I feel like that's ultimately the reason why we need, that mindset to, to be the best version of ourselves, to optimize ourselves to our fullest potential. Because where you are right now as a person may not be where you're supposed to be at the time. It could be because of situations, circumstances, your background, and all of those things, right? But for you to, get through that, for you to become your best version, for you to become your ultimate self, you will need to have the right mindset, armed with the right tools and, skills that you need to master in order to, to become all that you are. So, yeah.
I like what you just said about, tools to master. So it tells me that there's a way you can train your mind to think in a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So let's just take it back a bit. A lot of people want to be the best version of themselves. A lot of people want to live the fullest, bestest, anything like that, life that they can, right? But for some reason, they just can't see themselves doing that or living that kind of life. They can't see themselves moving past a particular circumstance. They can't see themselves moving past a particular type of lifestyle, right? And this is not, to be fair, sometimes it's not really their fault, right? So maybe their upbringing, their childhood traumas, limiting beliefs have set in and they're not able to move past a particular type of mindset. It said that, your conscious mind is 10%, right? And your subconscious is 90% of your life. So your life is basically lived off of your subconscious mind. You might not really know about it, but what is really moving your life is your subconscious mind.
Definitely.
So how do people who want to be the best version of themselves, right? How can they begin to train their mind? And let me say this here before we even go into that, is this episode is basically to let you know that you can empower yourself by training your mind to think positive, right thoughts. Now, yes, we can talk about positive thoughts, but I don't think it's not really about positive thoughts, because you can think about the positive thoughts you want to think, but it's basically in the training, the intentionality of catching those thoughts and, thinking the right thoughts. So people like that who want to be the best version of themselves, how can they begin to do that?
Wow, that's such an amazing question. And I feel like I feel like I'm in my coaching, not like call my coaching, but yeah. So, it is, I believe, or I've heard this thing not once, not twice, where they say that everything you need is inside of you, not outside of you. And I believe it so strongly, right? Before anything outside can change, it has to start from inside, right? And you made mention of something, which is like the crux of the question you've asked. And that is that people have limiting beliefs. And that is one of the reasons, if not a major reason, it's the major reason, actually, why a lot of people cannot become the best version of themselves, right? So what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are beliefs that you hold in your mind, which may not be true, that is stopping you from achieving what you want to achieve, becoming what you want to become, or that goal you set in front of you. There's a limiting belief that is blocking you or shielding you from not getting into that. So, and I feel like this is something that needs to be unbundled, right? Because it's for me, it starts out as by asking questions, right? Asking questions, and you have to be introspective to be able to ask yourself those kinds of questions. So those beliefs, so let me give you an example, and I think I've even shared it with you, but let me just give you an example. I used to think that everything, or let me put it this way, I used to like small things. I just noticed that I liked small things for no reason. Why do I like small things? So if I want to do stuff, I'll do it small. If I have a goal, it's small. If I want to buy stuff, it is small. My vision, if I want to do something, it is small. And so I started
the barest minimum.
So why am I thinking that way? What is making me think that way? And I started to dig deeper, and I said, okay, I felt like, first of all, it was like I didn't want people to really know me. right? I didn't want to be popular. I didn't want to be famous. I didn't want to be in front of people. I didn't want to be popular. I didn't want all of that. I didn't want attention, right? And so that was I just wanted to do my small thing and just do it and then just go, right? And there's so many people who have that mindset. And so I started to think, okay, let's take it back. Where did that start from? Where did you see it from, right? And then I started, so many things. I can go on and on, but I think the one that struck me the most was when I was younger, I remember that I used to like really good stuff. Who doesn't like good stuff, right? And I remember one particular incident when I went to the market, and the person who went with me was like, I wanted something. I pointed. The person was like, you can't have that. I'm like, why? Like, there was not enough money to buy that. And I'm like, but I love it. And everything that I pointed out to when I went to the market was beyond
the means. Yeah.
And I remember the person said something. The person said, oh, you like good things, or something about, like, you can't have it. And then for me, how I interpreted it was I didn't deserve it, right? And so I went for the only thing that we could afford was, what wasn't great, but you just had to have it because it was like that. So for me, it was something small, right? And so I didn't know the effect of that circumstance or that situation. So that situation rubbed off on me in the sense that every time I wanted something good.
So you never aspired for the best?
I never aspired for the best. So it was basically something, I came across something. There's a difference between what you want and what is available. So most times it's only what is available, right?
Wow.
And you can even, I could even point it out to maybe when I come to a gathering, or when I come to a gathering where maybe there's food, or someone takes me out and says, oh, okay, let's go and eat and let's go buy something, right? And the thing you point out to is the least expensive thing on that menu. Right? And it's not because I don't want what is expensive, but because I've been programmed based on circumstance. And those circumstances are done in space, I call them the 3 factors: space, time, and repetition, right? So it has been repetitive for it to now be registered in your subconscious mind, right? So it's like when that situation comes up, the file in your brain just brings out the corresponding action or the corresponding thing that you would do. And so I just realized that actually this is, I could give you examples, right? And then I started to, and I started to ask myself, is this really what I want? Or is this what I have that has been programmed into my mind? And so after, a while after, I said, okay, no, this is not what I want. I want the best things. No, but who doesn't want the best things in life? And so I started to, pull off. It's like you have to reprogram your mind, right? To saying that, okay, yes. So the limiting belief is that, okay, I can't have the very best, right? So I started to say to myself that I deserve the best, right? I can have the best. If I go into a room and I can pick anything I want, if it's available, I would, not if it's available, if it's what I want.
Yeah.
I will pick it up. So I started to, debunk those limiting beliefs. So it started from there, and I decided to debunk them, and I started to accept that, okay, this is what I want. What I will, and then it was a conscious effort in the sense that because it's like when you're driving.
I was going to go there.
Okay.
When your mind is looking at, maybe you see a yellow car, for example, and everything else you see the yellow car because your mind is already programmed,
right? So because my mind was already programmed, or when you are driving, your mind, when the first time you started to drive, you were conscious, right? So holding the steering, knowing when to press the brake and the accelerator at the same time can be quite confusing, especially because you're using the same leg, right? So, but after a while, when you continue to do it, it's like the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind is getting information from the conscious, and it is registered. So the next time when you do it, it's now like an autopilot. It's reflex, right? So when you just get into the car, okay, you're just gonna press the brake and put on your press your the button and then just start to drive and move. So when you are driving, you're not thinking, actively thinking. Your conscious, is your subconscious that is working, right? So because so installing new programming, right, is that you now have to be conscious. So the reason why I got to where I started to realize that, okay, this is what made me like this was because I became conscious of my
those,
subconscious, of those things that were
driving
stored,
your
that was driving my life, right? They were already on like autopilot. So I became conscious of it. And so it's the same thing if you want to reprogram your mind. You have to be conscious. Okay, so what are the new beliefs you want to start to create? So I started to think, okay, yes, I'm deserving of the good things in life. So when I want to buy something, I will go into a store and buy what I want. Even if it's the most expensive, because I deserve it. I will go into the store.
You want it, you like it, and you deserve to have it.
Yeah, and I can have it. So yeah.
So powerful. So things to learn from that, right, is how you must, if you really want to move your life in the place that you want it to go, if you want it to go in the direction you want it to go to, you need to sit down and begin to ask yourself some very vital questions. Right? Look at your life. Am I happy? Why do I keep doubting myself?
Yeah.
Why don't I feel good enough? Why do I keep criticizing myself? Because when you were 6, when you were 7, you didn't have those mindsets. It was put in there by someone, by something, by circumstance, and all of a sudden it became, a mindset or a belief, a stronghold in your mind that is now driving your life. So to move from where you are to where you want to get to, you must sit down and think about it. What do I want? Why am I thinking the way I'm thinking? Right? Because it's a mindset for a reason. Mindset are thoughts, opinions, how you view life. Now, this reminds me of something. So many things. This is such an interesting conversation, really. It reminds me of the concept of a sunglasses, right? So, for example, if you wear like a black, dark, lensed sunglasses, everywhere here is going to look really dark because of the lens you're viewing it from. And that's what the subconscious mind does. So because it has stayed, just like what the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life. So if you don't guard your mind, or if you're not careful with what is going into your mind, it begins to form that mindset. So it now taints your lens. So for example, you are... maybe you've not dated for a while and you feel like, because the lens you're looking at yourself from is, oh, nobody wants to date me. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not good enough. I don't think I'll ever get... everybody around me is finding a spouse or a partner, but me, nobody's. But you have a friend, for example, maybe you're my friend. And then all you are seeing of me, the lens you have on is a lens of, this is such a pretty girl. She's so beautiful. She's so smart. She's so intelligent. Right now, the guy might not have come, but he's going to come. That's the lens you are viewing me from, because a different lens. But me, I'm viewing myself from a lens of, you're this, you're that, you're not worthy of a good person. And what really
makes the difference is what you think. Because no matter what any other person thinks of you, if you're not accepting it, you're not going to work in it. I mean, just say, the example you gave is a typical example of what I went through, right? I mean, when I first left school, I mean, outside of my parents' house, I was happy. I mean, now, like, we're out of everybody looking at us and, trying to, keep you and say, don't go here. But I mean, now there's freedom, right? And I got into school and it felt like I was a diva. And I'm like, I was in my mind, I was like, you guys are mistaken. Do you know who we are? I mean, everyone was like, oh my God, have you met this girl? She's such a pretty... oh my God, you're so pretty. And I'm like, really?
I don't see myself
as that, right? And that talks about, when you're talking about the lens. And I realized that when they started to say it, honestly, I didn't believe it. But I started to now introspect and say, wait, am I really? Because where I'm coming from, you don't get affirmation, right? Nobody cares about, saying, you're such a beautiful girl and all of this. Nobody, I mean, just get good grades and come back and make us proud. That's it, right? You don't get that. So hearing that for me was quite weird at first. But then I realized that as I started to think about it, right? And I'm like, okay, it's true. I have beautiful nose. I have beautiful eyes. I have beautiful lips. That's good, though. Really. And then one thing was it started to affect my self-confidence, right? So when I step into a room, right, it's not like I'm thinking like, I'm finer than everybody here, but it's just that consciousness. Like, okay, yes, I'm pretty. So anybody that tells you, thank you very much. Like before, I'll be feeling shy and be like, that was, not, you're trying to be humble, but it's not. It's not. There's a confidence that comes, when you're self-aware of yourself. When you know your strengths, your weakness, you've accepted it and you're walking in it. There's such a confidence that comes with that, and that helps you as a person.
I mean, this is really, really amazing and powerful. And I want you listening to this to just take in everything we are saying today. Just take it in, pay attention to it and, utilize it for yourself, right? So let me ask this question. Yes, we've spoken about what your mindset is, thoughts, your opinions, how you view life, what drives your life. We've spoken about, how you need to begin to pay attention to the thoughts that you think, because the thought you think is what will tell your brain what's important to you. And as your brain feels like that's what's most important to you, it now begins to register in your subconscious, right? So what do I do, right? When I feel like, okay, I'm supposed to go and have a presentation right now, but I feel like I'm going to keep stuttering and I'm not going to present properly. That's a thought. And those thoughts come based from your energy, because you've thought about it a lot. You now have your energy. You've let out energy, so you're not able to even speak out in meetings, for example, right? So when I think those thoughts, what do I do? How do I begin to replace those thoughts? How do I begin to train my mind not to think those kinds of thoughts? What do I do?
Okay, I mean, there are many things you could do, but what I would say is you need to start talking to yourself positively, because what produces your feeling is what you are saying to yourself. So if you're saying, I'm sick, before you know it, you start to feel sick. Or you feel like, I'm tired. After a while, you start to feel tired. So it's a negative self-talk. Now, okay, so let me say that before I give an example, right? So it's negative self-talk. And when you keep saying that, you will not see that you can do better. So what you now start, just like what you talk about, the lens. It's like, it's not like you are lying, right? It's you're reprogramming. So you're saying to yourself that I have this, I can do this, I am able to deliver on this. Another thing that also helps is that think about it from the lens of the expected outcome. Think about the end result. So what's the feeling that you feel when you deliver an excellent presentation? The feeling is, people are like, oh my God, this is so brilliant. Wow. People are like clapping for you, applauding you. What feeling comes from that? Start to think about it. Automatically, you will start to feel that feeling before you actually. And that also motivates you. Let me give an example. If a parent tells a child that, okay, mommy, I want ice cream. And then the parent says, okay, you know what? For you to be able to want this ice cream, I want you to read 5 books. What the child is thinking is not the 5 books, thinking about the ice cream. So the ice cream is motivating them to read those books, right? So it's the same way. It's that feeling of, okay, I want this.
To feel.
This is what I want to achieve. This is the woman I want to become. This is the man I want to become. So when you think about that long enough, consistently, think about the end result most times. It helps you. Even the process, even the requirements, even, the hurdles, it would help you. And just keep that. And that's why, they always say that vision of put what you have in the vision you want to achieve in your mind. Put it in front of you. Like, think about the length and the breadth of it. Don't just, oh yes, I want to achieve. What feeling do you feel from achieving? I mean, how do you feel when you've done like your top 3 priority for that day? You feel good. You feel like I've accomplished I've done everything. So when you think about it from that point of view, it helps you. Let me give you a very a great example. So the time in my business, I wanted to do something and I was so frustrated and tired. I needed a staff, right? And it was so, my, how will I put it now? The first reaction I would give is that, oh God, I'm tired. I will always call you and complain to you that, babe, I'm tired and everything. But something changed one day. I just sat and I just employed somebody newly, and then the person just started to misbehave, and I think the person left. And then I called my husband and I'm like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm tired. And we're chatting. And I was going to say, it's like, what am I going to do? I was going to say, I don't know, I'm tired. But I typed it and then I cleaned it off. Or I cleared it off and I typed and I said, I'm going to do this. The people who are doing this don't have 10 heads. I will figure it out. And immediately I did that. It was like my perspective changed completely.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? I don't care how I'm going to do it, but I have it in my mind that I'm going to get this thing fixed. And as I put that in my mind, it channeled my energy. I even had the energy I was feeling wasn't no longer the energy of defeat, of I can't do this. It was now an energy of let's get this done. Right. And by the time I did that, I was able to get what I was looking for. And I was like, oh, wow, great. So I was telling myself, so that means, and I've realized that when I do things that is opposite from my natural state of mind, I get results. Because that I don't want to go, that energy I feel, that feeling I feel just sends me on a while. So I just move, right? Because naturally I'm an overthinker. I like to think on situations, right? And for people like us, or who have the personality like us, we stall on not doing things. I mean, this one, my husband used to say, babe, you always spend time to do stuff. And when he said that, he just registered. I'm like, okay, no, I'm just going to get this done. And that's the truth. It's one of the things I'm trying to navigate around. But I have things in place that I put that help me to get over that, my overthinking state, so that when I engage it, I can move. So, yeah.
So good. So talk to yourself, say positive things to yourself, know the feeling you want to feel at the end of the day so you can get you together. I'll also add that, there's something called the force of gratitude, right? Sometimes we are too judgmental to ourselves.
Yeah, true.
And what makes us feel that way, feel less of ourselves, feel bad, feel discouraged, is because we always think about the problems, why we're not good enough, how bad we are, how this and that. But you don't even think of the other 25 things that you're good at or that you've done, and things like that, right? So the force of gratitude is very powerful, where you just think of, the things you're good at. Like you said, your strength. Okay, I'm good at this. I'm good at sending great emails. I'm good at, starting conversations, right? I'm good at, fostering relationships. Think of the other good things that you're good, at, and it will help you think positive thoughts and not just reinforce those negative thoughts in your mind, right? So this episode really is one of my best and favorite episode, very dear to my heart, because it's something that every one of us should pay attention to. Our mind is powerful. Your mind can either work for you or work against you. So what do you prefer? Would you prefer your mind to work for you or work against you? Just train your mind to have more optimistic views, to life than pessimistic views, than, downtrodden views, train your mind, catch those thoughts. When you think them, say the opposite of them, like she said, instead of would anything even come out of this? What if something good comes out of this? Yes,
we most times think of the negative so much that and that's what empowers those thoughts to thrive.
Yeah. So, and the more you think those negative thoughts, it becomes a stronghold. And your mind, exactly.
So it becomes a reflex. So naturally, when you see opportunities, when you see opportunities that, you could go for it, because it's a programming. So your brain already read, or your subconscious already registered that, okay, when we see things like this, so this is how we react.
Exactly.
So automatically we react this way. So when you want to, and I should say this, that when you want to try to install new programming, like I always call it, right? Your subconscious mind will be uncomfortable. You feel uncomfortable. Like I started going to gym like some weeks ago, and oh my, I was trying to talk myself. I said no, not today. But then I started to think about it, that the more I did it, the more I became strong. The more I felt like I was moving forward to my goal. And so that feeling,
and being that woman you want to be.
I want to be. So the more I was doing that, the more I feel like, okay, I can do this. So your subconscious would react, right? But don't stop, because it's not about doing it once. Because don't forget, what got you in the place that you are right now didn't happen one time.
Yeah.
It was something that was repetitive, even if it's self-talk, even if it's self-doubt. It was maybe a situation that happened, and then you started to think on it. Even if that situation didn't happen again, how you view the situation, right? By thinking on it consistently, thinking on it over and over and over again, has already formed, a mindset. So, yeah. So you need to be
You need to train your mind.
And you need to be intentional about it. Reprogramming it, right? Because not just once, not just twice. You just have to keep doing it.
Okay. So, I mean, from this conversation, I feel like we need to go on a challenge. I mean, I feel like we can't go on a challenge. So if you're interested in going on a challenge, send me a message, leave a comment, and say, yes, let's go on this challenge, where maybe a 30 days challenge, because it takes time.
It does.
It takes time.
It does.
Where we can reprogram our mind, where it's, I can, I will, not I can't, I won't, right? Let's go on a challenge of reprogramming our mind, of training our mind to see positive things, to be optimistic, to life, be the happier, live happier lives, live fulfilled lives, right? It's very possible and you can achieve it, right? So it was such an amazing episode. It's so great to have you on set. I mean, I learned a lot and I believe that everyone here has learned a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. So as always, leave a comment, subscribe, share, and see you at our next episode. I remain your delectable host, Jumoke Shotonwa. Bye for now.